Hey sis, have you ever noticed that some people seem like almost drawn in to like emotional chaos? Like they like the drama, the excitement, the inconsistency, the emotional highs and lows, the attention that it gets them, the constant like stimulation. And then it's like, even when peace becomes available to them, like a peaceful environment, a peaceful relationship, people that understand them, people that try to work with them and try to, show them something different, even when that becomes available, they still go back to what drains them and keep them in that chaotic state, like fight or flight type of state. Yep. And what happens is it's like from the outside, it can feel incredibly confusing because people who are like stabilized in like peaceful environments, when you see somebody going from peace back to chaos, it really can confuse you because it leaves you kind of thinking like, why would somebody like keep on chasing chaos and instability, and why do healthy relationships feel uncomfortable to them? And then it's like you have another question. You start asking, like, why does calm seem boring? Like, what about being a calm, loving environment is boring to them? Like, why is that? If that's you, sis, let's talk about it. My name's Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. And at any point, if any part of this message touches you, please like and subscribe. If this is your flavor and you're feeling it, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. I'm a growing channel. I'm a small channel, just now getting out here trying to grow. So I'm trying to find my YouTube family. All right. So let's get back to this message though, because listen. So psychology shows and neuroscience actually explain like what happens like in this scenario, and actually what is happening, right? And so I want to kind of go through things gently and kind of, hit different levels of it so you can understand like what's going on. Because you guys know, if you watch my channel, I'm a nurse and I like to break things down as to why. Plus, I'm a person who want to know why this and why that. And if you're watching, you're probably one of those type of people too. But so the thing is that when I'm describing these things and these different behavioral type things and why people do this and why they do that, is more so for understanding, and also like it's like compassion and accountability for us. It's like we're being compassionate that these people are dealing with these things, but on the other hand, we need to make sure that we have our boundaries. Okay, so like research and shows that like, so it talks about like the dopamine that happens in our brains and stuff like that, all the stuff that we get. And then it talks about dopamine attachment and emotional inconsistency. It shows something very important about this type of person. Okay, it says that the brain responds like very strongly to like unpredictable rewards. And so the brain responds strongly to this. So, with that said, what that basically means is that, like, when attention and affection and somebody constantly reassuring or emotional connection feels like inconsistent, the brain then can become more emotionally focused on it because it's not consistent. So now they're more focused on that because it's the ups and downs and the inconsistency, right? And so they, instead of being less focused on that, they are more focused on that. Okay, and so this is part of like why like the hot and cold relationships and validating seeking and social media attention and emotionally chaotic connections, like they get arise out of like the chaos and the it gives them like a boost. I did another video about this. It gives them like a boost, okay? And it's like they when it's inconsistent and the fun of it and the chase of it, that's the chaotic thing that they get, that boost from. And so what happens is that all of that can feel so emotionally intense, because what happens is like the nervous system, it stays activated, remember? And so if you have that, your body, if it's fight or flight, it's activated, like your nervous system is activated. So with all this up and down and stuff like that, it keeps the nervous system activated. And so what is it doing? It's waiting for the next emotional hit, per se. Okay, so what is an emotional hit, Melinda? I'm glad you asked. So that means that, like, how you have people that like they be on social media. It's people that now, since they're getting like all this attention, the likes, the DMs, as they call it, the comments, and all this stuff. Now they're doing all these snapshots and stuff like that. They hadn't did this, and they hadn't been the type of person to take all these selfies. Now all of a sudden, since they getting likes and stuff like that, now they're snapping it up and all this different stuff, posting everything in everybody's inbox. They're in their inbox looking at everything. So that gives them a boost, okay? A boost and like a rise, because that's, the off and on, the flattery and stuff like that, that's giving them attention. Even though you may already be giving them that if you're in a relationship or what have you, but because you're already safe and steady, they feel like sometimes, and this is not all people, now I want to make that preference, but some people, that the slow and steady, the familiarity and feeling comfortable and safe, that may be boring to them, because if they like this, they need that boost. And so that boost, or that next boost is, or that hit or boost, whatever you want to call it, it's that next text, the compliment. Oh, you look good today. Ooh, that looks good on you. Ooh, I like your hair bald, or ooh, I like your long hair, or ooh, your muscles. Like that gives them an extra boost, right? It's the next emotional high, and then it's the next moment of attention. Okay, so they're getting all this attention. So what is it doing? It's boosting them. It keeps boosting them more and more. So what happens with people, when they get a hit or whatever, and they want to, they feeling good or whatever, they want more and more. It's the same thing with this, okay? And so what happens though is that over time, the cycle can become emotionally addictive. So that's what happens. Like it can become emotionally addictive. So let me explain like what I mean by that. Let me give you an analogy though. It's like a slot machine, like where people go gamble, like when you go to like the casinos and stuff like that, and they have the slot machines. It's kind of like that. It's like you don't know when the reward are coming. You don't know when or even if it's actually coming. You don't know, but the brain is emotionally engaged. And so when people that gamble and stuff like that, and they play those slot machines, they see three or four in a row or whatever the number is. I'm not a big gambler, but whatever that number is, they see it almost like, I almost won. So what's it do? It keeps them feeding that machine, because they want to win. I was so close. So then they keep doing it. And so what happens is that brain stays emotionally engaged, right? And so what's happening, it's the same thing. Now come back to the relationship that we're talking about, or any type of friendship or whatever have you. So like the brain then is like staying emotionally engaged now, because now it's waiting for the next payoff, the next like, the next click, the next inbox, the next picture with, whatever, the next, somebody saying you look good, the next, compliments, just put the pieces where it goes, but they're looking for that next one, that next social media post where they can say boom, and that person can, like them back and all this stuff. And so what happens is that like psychologically though, it's like unpredictable award rewards, what happens is that they often create like stronger attachments than steady ones. Let me tell you again. So psychologically, unpredictable rewards often create stronger attachments than steady ones. Think about like the chase when like say if you're married or you're in a relationship, but everybody's been in it, maybe most people have been in at least one relationship. But let's picture yourself like, if have you ever been like where somebody like they say they really want you so bad because they never had a person like you, or they never had a woman like you, or if you're a man watching, they never had a man like you. So they work so hard because this is excitement of getting somebody like you. Like, you know, you're honest, you have integrity, you have your own career, you have your own house, you treat people good. And if anybody asks anything about you or your name, they're going to say, oh my God, that's an excellent person. There's people who would love to be in a relationship with you that's like praying for you, that's praying for a partner like you. But then it's like they work so hard and then they show, you know, oh, I can do this and I'll do this. And nobody's ever, I never had a partner like you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. So they work hard to get it, right? Because it's something they never had. So they do everything to get it. And so that's them, pull that unpredictable reward because it's sorry, I had a motorcycle outside. So the unpredictable reward is like it pulls them closer to you. Why? Because you're somebody they never had. They never had anybody like you, and so they feel like that you're in arm's reach because now like they're trying everything to get you and stuff like that. And so that is a challenge because they know all these people want you, but they have a chance to get you. So it's the the tug of war and the attachment to the what they think they can't have, right, or what's not attainable. Okay. And so that's why sometimes people work so hard, and that because they need that validation. So think about it. Once they get you, then they're happy, they're posting you, they're so happy taking you around and all that because of that boost. It boosts them because why? Oh, you got somebody like that. Oh my God, that's So now that really boosts them. Okay, and so, but, but because you are peaceful and you're honest and all that, they're going to get you, and then it's going to be born to them because why? Because they constantly need the boost. Even though you're giving them everything that they're out here getting the boost for, internally they need that boost. Okay. And so it's powerful to understand, but that's why I love studying this stuff because I like to know why. And I want to bring it to you because this stuff is really powerful when you look at it psychologically and like what's going on. So, sorry, moving on. So, let's talk about like why peace can feel empty. Why peace can feel empty to some people. Now, this is the deeper layer and deeper part of it, okay? So, some people, not all, everything I say is not a one-stop shop. This is not for 100% of the people. This is some people, okay? So put the pieces where they go. If it's, if it's of a situation that you found yourself in, or somebody like this, okay? So some people though, they grew up like emotionally conditioned by like chaos, instability, emotional inconsistency, conflict, unpredictability, or even like environments where calm never lasted long. Meaning somebody's always arguing, somebody's always gonna pop off, somebody's always cussing somebody out. Like it's always something. Okay, that's how some people have, that's their environment growing up, and they couldn't help it because if you were a kid, you don't pick your family or anything like that or your scenario, but this is just the fact that sometimes this is what people have grown up in. So as a result, what happens is what their nervous system, it has adapted to that emotional stimulation. Okay, and so what happens then is eventually, so like now with that, peace can then feel like emotionally unfamiliar because that's not how they grew up and that's not what they know. So for them, peace can feel unfamiliar, okay? It's not bad because, again, they didn't choose this, but this is how they grew up. And so it's unfamiliar, not bad, but it is unfamiliar. And so an unfamiliar can feel uncomfortable to some people, which is why they can have a hard time adapting to a peaceful environment and a loving relationship because that's unfamiliar to them. And so let's talk about like the social media and all that stuff that I kind of touched on a little bit earlier. But this is why, that's what I was saying, like, this is exactly why, like, social media validation can become so powerful psychologically. It literally can. It can become so powerful because research does show that, like, the likes, the notifications, the comments, the inboxes can, and also the unpredictable social rewards that they get. Remember, the likes, the comments, the DMs or whatever they call them in the inbox, the you know, unpredictable social rewards like, ooh, you look so good, where have you been, the good morning beautifuls, the all good morning handsomes, like that could be that boost, right? That's like boost, 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 okay? And so all of that, just like, that's why too, the act of dopamine rewards the systems in the brain, right? So when they're getting all these boosts, it's activating that dopamine. And what happens? That's the reward in the brain saying, ooh, yes, I'm excited about this. This is making me feel really good. And so for somebody struggling, that somebody that has like struggles like internally with like insecurity, emptiness, identity wounds, or emotional instability, guess what? That constant attention and temporarily it feels regulating to them. It like regulates them because they didn't have that before or growing up, and now they're getting all this attention. So now that's, they're regulated off of that, the boosts, the likes, the comments, the inbox messages, like that's boosting them up now, okay? And so because they get that quick boost, the quick feeling of making them feel like real important and stuff like that, and the quick movement of like, now all these people want you. Remember, I told you, like, if they got excited because they found somebody that, oh my God, that they thought was off limits, that person gives them a chance based on what they showed them, right? The mask that they showed them, they give them a chance. And you know, you're honest, you're coming in just honest and pure. You don't have no bad intentions. You really want to give this person a chance, right? So now they got you and everything. And so now it's like they have this boost because they was able to get you. So now outside, other people may be giving them compliments. Ooh, she look good. Ooh, this, and ooh, you was able to get her, and blah blah blah. And though they are excited that they have you, but they still need the constant boosts and the lifts and the hits. Why? Because internally they're still not happy, like that, because they didn't get all that and they still don't know how to manage all that. So it's going to be hard for them to manage that because now they're getting these boosts and they want that to keep going. And so the thing is though, all of that is temporary though. Those boosts and those hits and moments of feeling high on everything, as far as like emotionally, because of the, you know, the inboxes, all the messages and all this, the newness of it all, it's a temporary situation. Yeah. And so the temporary situation though is not the same as internal peace. And that's where the hang up is, because it's a temporary stimulation. And so that's why they keep needing them over and over and over, because it's temporary, right? It wears off. And so that's not the same as internal peace though. Okay. And so let's talk about what could be happening though in their body. So, like, their nervous system may literally become more familiar with like emotional highs and lows, constant stimulation, attention chasing, or instability. And the other thing is that, so what happens is that when healthy love does finally come around for them and they actually land somebody that's healthy and they have a healthy love, the calm can initially feel like flat to them. Because remember, they're used to the excitement and stuff. So a calm, stable person that's just chilled like that, that could seem boring and flat to them. Okay? And so what's happening is their mind could be saying stuff like, this is boring, she's boring, or he's boring. But internally, their nervous system may actually be saying, I'm more familiar with emotional stimulation than peace. And so this is important to understand because understanding somebody's wounds or internal wounds does not mean though that you excuse the repeated unhealthy behavior. Just because we're learning all about this and understand their wounds and stuff like that, that don't mean to keep letting people just walk over you and treat you bad. That don't mean you accept unhealthy behavior, okay? Because eventually healing requires self-awareness, and they have to make a decision. They have to make a decision, not you, but they have to make a decision as far as, you know, what they want to do. And so people like us, then you have to and then also a decision needs to be made like, am I chasing constant emotional stimulation? And this is what they need to be saying to themselves. Am I chasing constant emotional stimulation, or am I finally willing to heal the emptiness that's underneath it? Now, you cannot answer that for them. You cannot take those steps for them. That's why I say, when I say we, because we are people, if you're watching my channel, a lot of you guys are very empathetic, very caring, very giving, very honest, genuine, and people have like done you wrong because they feel like you're born, because you're honest, you're genuine, you're not out here in the streets, you ain't out cussing everybody out, you're not disrespectful to people's parents, like you take care of your house, you know what I'm saying, like all that. So they have to get to a point though where they decide and ask themselves, am I chasing constant emotional stimulation, or am I willing to heal the emptiness underneath it? And that's where the real work is. Healing. They have to heal, okay? And they have to do the work. So, like, peace, though, it often feels quieter than chaos. Peace is quieter than chaos. But quiet doesn't mean empty. It doesn't mean empty. And healing sometimes means learning. When we know better, we do better. People, they need to kind of learn and dive in and do the work. And so it also means that learning that peace is not boredom, that consistency is not weakness, and stillness is not something to fear. That's some things that they have to become aware of. And so the thing is that God does not, you know, want us to be in a constant state of confusion. He says God is not the author of confusion. He doesn't want us confused walking around. He heals through truth. Remember, the truth shall set you free. He heals through awareness, peace, transformation, and truth. Okay? And so if you've ever, like, found yourself in a situation and you've ever wondered, like, why some people keep returning to emotional chaos and leaving you for emotional chaos, just understand this. Like, sometimes the nervous system becomes attached to stimulation instead of peace. So, see, it has nothing to do with you. This is just what they're used to: the boosts, the comments, the social media, the likes, the pics, all that, the what looks glamorous. Okay, so healing begins though when people stop chasing those emotional highs and finally learn how to sit with themselves and do the internal healing. Because real peace, it doesn't require chaos to feel alive. Yeah, you don't have to, they don't have to have all that chaos just to feel alive, okay? So I hope this message helped you to get some clarity on this. I have another video too coming up on this. And I don't know which one I'll post first, but it'll be another one just kind of explaining this, because I know a lot of times, you probably are like, well, why did they do this? Like, well, everything was here. Why did they go back to that and that all this and then try to come back? Because you're the peaceful one, right? So I hope this is making sense and helping it to break some of these things down. So if this message helped you, please like and subscribe. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness. Have a great day, guys. Bye.